Hello guys, back here with another video, and today we're going to be looking at the most recent part of powerlifting history, part 7 of this last, the last part 7 of 7 of this series, 2018 to 2025. Now, bearing in mind, this is being recorded middle of February in 2025. I'm not too sure when it'll find its way online. Some key events could happen. One that I'm looking for, which I'm going to try and get this online before, is Clash of the Titans 3. Because I'll be competing there. Just a little heads up, in the morning session as a little warm up to the big guys. We've got Colton Engelberry, who is looking to beat Dan Bell's total world record. So my bit of history on here, if I don't get it out before that video, is going to be wrong. So bear that in mind. But just touching on that, Dan Bell, he totaled 1,182.5 kilo in wraps. Raw, that is like the wrapped world record. We've got Jesus Olivares at the first Sheffield, totaling 1,152.5 in sleeves. They are the two world records raw. Raw's kind of split in two. You've got your classic raw with wraps and you've got your modern raw with sleeves. That's kind of how the world's shifted nowadays. Like with equipped, that's split in three ways. In the single ply, we've got Blaine Sumner, who managed to total 1,296 kilos, with his key highlights being his monster bench press of 426 kilos and his monster squat of 515 kilos. If you've ever seen the video of him squatting the 515, it was the shakiest walk back you've ever seen. I feared for the spotters' lives. We've got by Dave Hoff getting 1,407.5 kilo total. You got that by way of, I believe, a 460 bench press, a 370 deadlift, and a 577.5 kilo squat. I think that adds up. I may be slightly wrong. But it was definitely around that ballpark. Now I think just to, the deadlift on Dave Hoff sort of gets criticised as being small. Yes, it's his weaker lift. Everyone's got a weaker lift, typically. But an 800-pound deadlift is nothing at all to be sniffed at. That is a monster deadlift for anybody. And I think one thing to also mention about Dave Hoff, he isn't a super heavyweight. When he did that, he weighed 130 kilos. He's not the biggest guy. We've got Nathan Baptist, who took this the squat world record. He weighs 100 kilos more, 100 kilos more body weight than Hoff. So, and he squatted maybe 5 or 7.5 kilos more than Hoff, and he was that much heavier. So Hoff is a very good lifter. He's also the pound for pound king. It's such incredible numbers. I believe he's got over 750 Glossburner points. Mind blowing. And the third part is the unlimited powerlifting. This only happens in the bench press typically, and we've got Jimmy Kolb with a, brace yourself, 635 kilo bench press. That's 1,400 pounds. And he says, by the look of it, in 2025, he's gearing up for a 1,500 kilo bench press. No, a 1,500 pound bench press. Pardon me. Now that number's unfathomable. That's a 680 kilo bench press he's hoping for. That is most people's dream total. I've been strength training for 6 years before I could hit that total, and this man's talking about bench pressing it. What? How does that happen? He is by far the best bench presser of all time. He weighs about 150 kilos. Just mind-blowing numbers. He's got his bench press is like 50 kilo. Is like 100 kilos more than anyone's ever done before, anyone else, and it's just incredible. The numbers that you don't even think are possible, where you think your elbow would just snap, the bones would just give way. He's doing it. So bravo to him. He also has a single ply world record, I believe, at 5'10", which interestingly is higher than his multiply bench press rate. I'm not sure if he's got the biggest multiply bench. I don't know. He's definitely up there. It's definitely top 5. We've seen the rise of big events. Big dogs happen within this time period for the untested. We've seen the Clash of Titans by Abs. We've seen SBD Sheffield, which has emerged as sort of like the biggest event in powerlifting. It's run by SBD. Happens in Sheffield, if you couldn't tell. And I've done some videos on it, so if you want to know more about that event, go and watch the videos I put online about it. I believe I put a video about all three. It's become the biggest event in the world. The amount of views it gets is incredible. It's run by it's IPF affiliated, so it's all drug tested. Speaking of abs, we've seen a huge rise in that organisation. They're dominating the untested world at the moment. We have seen equiplifting shrink. Equiplifting has shrank very, very much so. In the IPF, I believe there's like less than 2,000 equiplifters globally. Very, very small, you know. We're an endangered species. We're tiny. Last thing to point out that I've got on my notes is John Hack, the pound for pound undisputed king in my opinion. You know, nobody in wraps can touch him, and this man competes in sleeves. He'll walk every squat out as well. This man's insane. At 93 kilos body weight, he totaled 2,300 pounds. I can't remember the bench press he got, you can probably work it out. But he squatted 365 very easily. And he pulled 426 kilos. What? And the man pulls conventional as well, just to like, you know, get extra kicks. He typically competes at 90 kilos body weight. He's got the world record total, squat, deadlift and bench in a bench full power. I think it's in 410 deadlift, a 272.5 bench, and a 365 squat, and then the world record total, which I believe it did all in different meets. Well done. But that about does it for this part of powerlifting history. I think there's a lot of stuff that is going to happen in 2025, which is going to invalidate a lot of the stuff I've put for this video. You know, with the Jimmy bench press, the dumbbells total, I think a lot of that is going to change. Will the single ply total change? I doubt it. The closest guy is about 50 kilos away. Will the multiply total change? I doubt it. I think the closest thing to a shift up in multiply we're going to see is somebody dethroning Hoff at the WPO, and that is if Hoff is going to have a bad day. I think for someone to beat Dave Hoff, he's going to have to get, Hoff will get one bench and only, I mean, he won 2024 with 2 squats, 1 bench and 1 deadlift. So I think he's going to have to get 1 squat, 1 bench, 1 deadlift for anyone to even come too close to threaten him. That's just the level he's at. But that about does it for this sort of like mini series I've done. Thank you for watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. And until next week, keep lifting that big weight.